welcome. You are watching India Today SoSouth, and this is Afreen Hussain. So, for the past month or so, I've been hearing it's hot, it's humid, it's sunny. I'm sweaty, I can't go out, and all of that. So, this April marks the driest in 41 years for Bangalore. This is the first time since 1983 that April has passed without rains in Bangalore, and with that, we continue to wait for it to rain in Bangalore. The city has also recorded an unprecedented average maximum temperature of 36.53 degrees Celsius, which has been the highest in over 55 years. And Bengaluru and its citizens have always boasted about its pleasant weather, its chill weather. You can come here; it's like a hill station and all of that. However, this time the summer has been so harsh. There's been no rains since November 2023, at least a good amount of rain. Borewells are running dry, water supply is reduced and restricted. In other parts of South India too, we have reports of heat wave like situations, heat wave warnings, dry state, harsh temperatures. So heat wave conditions have also led to temperatures skyrocketing in both the Telugu states, that is the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So all of these situations are arising in southern India. In Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, some of the districts recorded over 46 degrees Celsius. And for the first time in Kerala's history, too, an orange level warning was issued for extreme heat conditions in Palakkad, which recorded above 41 degrees Celsius. In another first, Alappuzha has been issued a warm warning because of heat wave like conditions. The district saw mercury soaring to 38.3 degrees Celsius in April, which was also a record breaking high for the district. So, what is with this unfamiliar summer in the country? Why is it happening? What are the reasons? To understand this and to know more, we have Shrikant sir with us, an independent weather blogger who is the face behind Chennai Rain's handle on X. Welcome, sir. Thank you for talking to India Today So South.
Good morning, Afreen.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. So, firstly, I would like to understand why are we facing such extreme heat this time around? Like we've had summers before, but it has never been this case. We've had a lot of record-breaking highs this time. Why is that so?
A couple of things. One is that every summer that follows a moderate to strong El Nino is typically abnormally hot over peninsular India. Now, if you look at the highest for Bangalore, it would be 2016. If you look at Anantapur, it would be 2016. If you look at places like Dharmapuri, it would be 2016. 2015 was the earlier strong El Nino, and 2016 summer was one of the harshest in recent times. 2024 followed a moderately strong El Nino in 2023. So now we are seeing once again a very hot summer. In a way, it's worse than 2016 because, as you pointed out, Bangalore's average maximum temperature is now possibly the hottest in about 55 years. Right. So that's one part. And the second part is that summer thunderstorms have been below normal over peninsular India. Now, what happens is if you continue to see dry conditions persist, the soil moisture is very dry, the land is very hot, it's baking hot. So each warm or a hot day that gets added, the temperature starts rising as well, right? So what's happening is that you are seeing a case where you're not getting respite from the temperatures, you're not getting relief because there's no rains either. So it's a double whammy for peninsular India. So that's the reason why this year has been abnormally hot. But I wouldn't say it was unusual or unexpected because the base is already set because we are following a very strong El Nino year. So it was sort of expected that 2024 summer would be harsh.
Right. Sir, for our audience, for common people like us to understand, can you please explain what is the El Nino effect? And according to reports that I have been reading, it is said that El Nino is weakening. So how do we understand this? How does the common person understand this?
See, basically, El Nino is what we call as the Central Pacific being warmer by at least zero point 0.5 degrees than normal. Okay, when we say normal, the normal keeps shifting because we have a what is called as a moving average system, so that it doesn't mean that the Pacific Ocean is zero point 0.5 degrees warmer than a normal, which is some 100 years old. the average is about 25-30 years back, so it's not too far away, right? So if, say, for example, the Central Pacific is warmer by zero point 0.5 degrees for 5 continuous months, then we say that there's an El Nino episode. Now, typically, El Nino peaks around December of a year. So that's why we saw December 2023 is when the El Nino peaks, and gradually it fades. Okay, now uh, currently, the temperatures are still about zero point 0.4 degrees above normal in the Pacific. So you're right in a way saying that when people say El Nino is fading, El Nino is indeed fading, and most weather models expect the second half of 2024 to be a La Nina event. When I say La Nina, it is basically the opposite of El Nino. The Pacific Ocean is zero point 0.5 degrees cooler than normal. Okay. Now, what happens normally is that, for example, during 2016 or 2024, the Pacific Ocean was warmer by almost a couple of degrees, 1.8, 1.7 degrees. Now, the ocean has absorbed a lot of heat, right? So when it fades, as currently is happening, it is fading because the heat is getting released by the ocean. Now, when the heat gets released by the ocean, it manifests in warmer atmospheric temperatures or higher temperatures over the land area. That's the reason why, one of the reasons why uh, we are seeing abnormally hot conditions, not only peninsular India, except for possibly Middle East, Iran, Pakistan, and North India and Central India, which has been getting almost every week a spell of rains due to the western disturbances. Pretty much every across the tropics, right through the globe, we are seeing extremely warm climates.
Right. So going forward, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a dry state in southern India, in Karnataka? Do we see the heat increasing in the next few days or weeks? How are we looking at it?
In the immediate context, first, second, third, fourth, or possibly up to fifth as well, 5th of May, peninsular India would see very, very harsh afternoon. Okay, especially interior areas. Already we've seen places like Nandyal, Anantapur, not Anantapur, Nandyal and Kurnool touching 40, near 45.5, 45.6. So there's a good chance one or two observatories in Rayalaseema region could touch even 46, cross 46. And similarly, I think possibly there's a very high chance for Bangalore to record its hottest day in the next couple of days. So
Right,
that's something which we are going to see possibly. And so up to fifth, there's going to be a lot of heat around peninsular India. And but the good news is that starting from fourth or fifth, uh, things would sort of uh, get into place in terms of summer thunderstorms. So I think what places like Bangalore and even northwest interior Tamil Nadu, which adjoins the Karnataka, like Krishnagiri, Dharmapuri district, which typically gets most of its rains during the transition season, uh, need to grit out for about 5 to 7 days before they start getting their rains, and that would be a much needed respite as well, because not only the rains are going to come next week, the temperatures are also going to come down in some of these places. So in a way, possibly the last few days of summer, I would say, for places like Bangalore. But of course, for Chennai and north coastal Tamil Nadu, typically the summer starts now when the winds change from east to west. So we still have some way to go, but at least the interior areas of peninsular India, which will see a reduction when the winds change from east to west, can gradually look forward to the summer winding down, and also thunderstorms happening as well, say early next week.
right. All right, sir. So that was my next question to you, actually. So there have been reports that from either from 2nd to 5th May or from 6th to 7th, we might get thunderstorms. So yeah, you cleared that for us. Sir, Karnataka has been experiencing failed monsoons. Now, for over the past 2 years at least, we've had failed monsoons. So the state is in drought-like, not even drought-like, drought situation. So how will the current, weather affect this? How do you look at this?
Normally, I'll put it in quotes. Normally, La Nina
Hmm.
year brings good southwest monsoon. So, just like how Karnataka owes a lot to the south, to a good southwest monsoon, uh, for people in Tamil Nadu, especially the Delta region, uh, requires a good southwest monsoon as well, because Kaveri uh, gets a lot of its, or most of 90% of its inflows from southwest monsoon areas, right? So my feeling is that this year, uh, though southwest monsoon could be slightly uh, weak in the initial stages, because I think the below normal temperatures over North India for the past few weeks will possibly play a role in how the temperature gradient works and the monsoon winds pick up. But I don't see much of a problem over the season. I think we should look forward to a very good southwest monsoon season, and God willing, I think most of the reservoirs should get filled up this year, is what I expect.
Right. So, what are some of the observations that you have made? Now, you have been independently weather blogging for about 10 years now, if I'm not wrong, or
Yeah,
more.
10,
Uh,
10 years.
yeah. So, how is this summer different from the past year or from the past years that you have been, observing?
I think one of the points which is sort of coming into my mind quite a lot these days is that assuming every summer that succeeds in El Nino is going to be like this. We've seen 2024 now, pretty much 2016 was a very high uh,
Mhm.
uh, threshold. We thought 2016 would not happen immediately, but I think in less than a decade we are breaking 2016's very high. I mean, look at something like a 39.2 in Bangalore, and Uti has recorded 29.2 degrees for the first time ever in about 75 years. Of course, the recorded history is for about 75 years. We don't know whether it recorded a set temperature like that earlier, but that's the hottest day. Alapura, Kottayam, Palakkad was just zero point 0.1 degrees short of its highest ever. Bangalore, as I said, could be is in with a very good chance to break its hottest day. So if every year summer which follows an El Nino, a strong El Nino is going to be like this, we are seeing oceans getting warmer. So which means that El Nino would happen often. Uh, so would it mean that as we get to the years to come, the summer could be harsher than what we're currently seeing? So which means that we need to be sort of prepared for it. Plus, of course, uh, I keep saying often, if say, for example, we are taking more than what the water is that is available for us, how do we manage then? Look at, say, Bangalore. Uh, People struggling to find water, and the rains failed. And of course, I don't know whether the summer thunderstorms would have helped also, but nevertheless, we are talking of 1 or 2 years failure, and we are reaching the wits end in terms of how could we manage. So that's something I think again we'll have to sort of introspect and figure out how do we do.
Right. So, in this entire context, how do we look at global warming here? Like, how do we place global warming here? What would you like to comment on that?
See, I am not one of those guys who would attribute everything to global warming, but at the same time, I would not say that global warming does not exist. For
Mm,
example, oceans warming is
mm,
clearly an indicator that there is a warming, no doubts about that. But if you
mm,
look at some of the old records, these are 60 years, 70 years as well. So it's not that some of these places did not record such extreme temperatures earlier, right? But the point is what you mentioned in your opening remarks. The
mm,
average maximum temperature is high. For example, uh, what is called as if the average maximum temperature is higher than ever before, it means that
mm,
it is hotter than ever before, ignoring the extremes. I mean, extremes are outliers any which ways. So one should not be taking extremes alone as a way to understand or say whether temperatures are increasing, right? So my feeling is that yes, I think there is a certain amount of warming that's happening, and we should also
mm,
not ignore urban heat island effect, which is happening in larger megapolises. So
mm,
cities are growing very rapidly. There's more concrete buildings everywhere. How much are those contributing to? For example, I stayed in Bangalore for about 7 or 8 years.
mm,
I even then March was bad. March used to be the worst month for Bangalore,
mm.
possibly April first fortnight. But I've never seen Bangalore seeing 39, 40, near 40s on a almost daily basis.
Right. So, my family comes from Raichur, so the temperatures used to always be about, 38, 39, 40. So we never used to go to, our native for summer holidays. But now I see the same condition in Bangalore. So it is, as a person who's lived in Bangalore since I've been born, and I don't know how to take this situation. I don't know. People outside are saying they can't live without AC and coolers in Bangalore. That was never the case. It was always cold here. It's a new thing for Bangaloreans too.
I remember when I moved into Bangalore in 1999, when I was looking for houses to stay, some of the houses did not have fans because uh, the landlord said that you don't need fans mostly in Bangalore. I mean,
Yeah, so
so if you want, you can always buy a table fan and keep for yourself. But I don't think fans are needed in Bangalore. Is what
yes,
I used to hear. From there, we've now come to a state where air conditioners become a necessity and not a luxury anymore in a city like Bangalore.
right. So, is there anything else that you would like to add to this show that we're having?
Uh, one request I would make to people is that I think, uh, as I said, if say for example we are already drawing more than what a city could generate in terms of its water availability, I my request to people is that I think they should actively look at having rainwater harvesting mechanisms in their apartment complexes, their houses, etc. Because uh, it's not that we don't get rains; we get enough rains if, say, for example, we are able to uh, use a good rainwater water harvesting mechanism to uh, sort of save some of these water. But I wouldn't call every drop to be saved in a water tank. It has to grow to the ground. The soil has to get moisture, etc. But I think we have enough water availability from the rains that we can sort of take some of it and use it on a regular basis. So my request to people is that please consider rainwater harvesting as a mandatory uh, part of your building.
Right. So, is this one way how we can prepare for a harsh summer if we do have it next year? How can we prepare ourselves for the next summer or for this summer even?
Yeah, I think every summer only the intensity might vary, the level of difficulty might vary, but I think every summer we're going to see this, right? So in a way, I wouldn't say that rainwater harvesting may help every day in a summer, but at least I think if, say, for example, there's a spell of rain which could help you uh, give, give water for, say, a week's availability demand, why not? I think you should be happy with it, isn't it? So I don't think you lose anything by putting up a rainwater harvesting mechanism.
So, like I was asking, how are the other ways we can prepare ourselves for a harsh summer or so?
Uh, I don't know. It's a
Mhm.
tough question to answer. How do we prepare? I think one of the ways possibly we should look at it is that is uh, are we on right path by sort of having few large cities attracting everything around it. So that's a problem which all of us are going to are facing. Or do we sort of develop multiple centers, even say for example, even in Karnataka, do we develop multiple cities so that the pressure on one of the biggest challenges Bangalore has is it puts a lot of pressure because of so many people there. I mean, you can't blame the people because the opportunities they
Right.
go where the opportunities are available, right? So you can't blame the people. But question is, Bangalore is getting water from sources that are 7,500 kilometers away. Now, how is it sustainable on a long-term basis for decades together? It's very tough, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for talking to us and taking the time out.
Thanks, Efring. My pleasure.